Welcome back to the range. Before we go into break, we're going to be talking about some basketball. Now let's go into hockey. Had the men's hockey final. Now, for next 4 years, when they have the next Winter Olympics, the NHL has been talking about possibly banning the NHL players, people like Alexander Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, George Miller, different key players from different countries from not playing in the Winter Olympics because of scheduling and just other problems with just having breaks during the NHL season. Now, most of these players vow that they're going to play no matter what happens what the NHL decides. Now, do y'all think that NHL has not come out with a complete statement as to whether they're going to let them play or not? Do y'all think they should play in the next Winter Olympics or not?
I say yeah, let them play. I mean, you have the NBA players playing in the Olympics and representing their country. I mean, so why not let the hockey players represent their country? I mean, obviously it boosts the ratings, and a lot of more people will watch the games if their respective favorite player is playing for his or her country. I mean, they don't have to be from the same country as you, but you're still going to watch it just because a certain player or your favorite player is playing. So I say yes, let them play.
First off, I mean, the difference between basketball and hockey is the Summer Olympics isn't during basketball season.
Yeah. True.
But we're talking about a stoppage. You're talking about a 3-week stoppage for hockey to just stop playing and try to resume itself right after the Winter Olympics. I think they should still play, mainly because players do come here to play hockey, for year round, when they get a chance to. But when the Winter Olympics come, it's time to represent your country. It's the same thing with baseball, because baseball even takes a little time off for those guys to go. But some of those guys really, the baseball hockey, the baseball Olympic team is basically filled with minor league players. That's why baseball doesn't make a big hoopla about it, because a lot of minor league players go. As for basketball, they don't make a big hoopla because it's not during basketball season. But hockey is the only sport that has to stop its regular play schedule to make room for the Winter Olympics. And is that right? No, but at the same time, it is the Olympics. It happens once every 4 years, and you stop in a season 3 weeks once every 4 years isn't that big of a deal for us. That gives hockey fans that time to watch U.S. hockey, Russian hockey, Canadian hockey, whatever hockey they like to watch. They get to watch that kind of hockey for 3 weeks, whether their team's good or not. But at the same time, when they come back, they know they still have the NHL to look forward to after the Winter Olympics.
I'm not big on hockey, but, I mean, as far as playing for your country, it is a big thing. And it's a privilege to play for your country. So, I mean, the commissioner of hockey he really needs to just use it to his advantage for the NHL, because it could make for a better marketing. So, I mean, just let them play for their country and have fun with it. I mean, you can make a lot of money off of this. Quick crime.
Yeah, and they've already made a whole lot of money. In fact, they went up 62% in any kind of hockey game ever since 1980 from the Miracle on Ice. And, any hockey game, I'm talking NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup, this hockey that happened yesterday was just bigger than anything else. So,
and think about it now, there's going to be a lot more people going to NHL games just to either cheer on Sidney Crosby for what he's done, or even boo Sidney Crosby for what he's done in the USA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen. There's going to be more people that show up to the hockey because hockey is now becoming big again in America. USA hockey back on the map. So everybody else, just like it was in 1980, everybody is suddenly wanting to go back to a hockey game again. Hockey is back. I'll tell you that from about 30 years ago.
All right, quick question. Crosby has him a Stanley Cup title.
Yep.
And he scored the winning goal to get the gold medal. Is he better than Ovechkin? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
Yes, he has the hardware.
But then again, well, yeah, I mean, he has the hardware, but I obviously, in my opinion, think he's a better player.
Individually, I say Ovechkin's still better. But in a team game, Sidney Crosby's a better team player than Ovechkin.
Because of the position they play?
Because of the position they play.
Okay.
And I think that that's how it goes.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yep.
All right. Talking about something pointless to something even more pointless, we have the NFL Combine. This is the biggest joke I have ever seen in my life. Now, granted, Ironically enough, as the biggest joke takes place in Indianapolis. That kind of blows. But at the same point, yeah, I made that joke. But it's a huge joke for me. You have 3 to 4 years of game film on a player, and you have to determine how you draft them based on 1 or 2 days, including a pro day. Doesn't feel fair to me. If Ndamukong Suh deserves to be number 1, judge him by his game film, not by what he did at the combine. If Gerald McCoy decided to go number 1, do it by his game film during college, not by what he did during the combine. Tim Tebow, we know he jumped higher than any other quarterback, ran faster than any other quarterback. That's all fine and dandy. But you have 3 years of game film on Tim Tebow. You're not going to judge him on what he did at the NFL Combine. Not going to happen. What do you fellas think?
To me, the Combine is pointless for a lot of players that already are a household name in the country. Now, for the players that ride the bench, don't really got any game footage besides their high school game footage, the Combine can help you. The Combine can help you, as your pro day can also help you. So for the lower marquee players, I can understand that, but the big name players that people already know of, whether your stock is up or down, there's no reason for you to go to the Combine.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. The one pointless thing out of the Combine, I think, is testing the vertical jump of an offensive lineman. When are they going to be in the position to where they need to jump? That is all.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's good for some things. If you look at the popular players like Ndamukong Suh or Tim Tebow, yes, there is no real reason why they should be in the Combine. But for instance, like players that don't really have a household name for themselves, that could really boost them into getting an NFL team to pick them up. NFL owners and scouts, they have to look over at least 100 or 200 colleges throughout the country. They can't go and look at game film for every single player at every single time. So they have to bring all the players together and try and figure them out. And the best, easiest way to do that is to do it through the standard drills that every football team does. And you can't really do it on anything else. Certain situations come around, but the best thing you can look at is what they do on their basic things. High school, that's what they stick to. College sticks to that. Why shouldn't pros?
First off, a lot of colleges recruit based on high school game film. That's how they recruit. Because you don't go to some places and look at stuff like, oh, this is how he does in a certain drill. He does this in a certain drill. No. Colleges say, you know what? He plays well. He's a very good running back. Let's bring him to my school. He's a very good offensive lineman. Good defensive lineman. Let's bring him to our school. That's how colleges recruit. Now, the NFL is taking an extra 2 days, looking at a certain player. Golden Tate, really good receiver. Why does he need a combine to prove himself as a number 1 receiver coming out? Des Bryant really needs the combine. Yeah. But we've seen Des Bryant play before. We know what he's capable of doing. As Chris said, you're a non-marquee player. You really shouldn't be at the combine anyways.
Unless you have something to prove.
There's nothing really to prove at the combine. You can be fast.
Yeah.
Let's be straight here. Hayward Bay. Fast. Sucks as an NFL wide receiver. That's just how it goes. Now, granted, he doesn't have a quarterback that can throw it to him. So, I got to go ahead and give it. You just can't judge what happens at a combine or a pro day. It's just not valid for me. I have 4 years of game film on the player. I don't need 2 extra days. And if I'm the Rams, I already should know who I want. If I'm the first 10 picks, I should already know who I have on my board. From there on, it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, another thing I find kind of pointless is that the Wonderlic test. That's pretty much testing your IQ. Now, mainly they're going to be basing your IQ off what you did in what you did from your entire football career in college, whether you're smart enough to adapt to the playbook and adjust to anything that the NFL will throw at you. So if you're not ready for that, then you're obviously not ready to play.
We'll be back with Shout Out, Thumbs Down, here on The Range. Stay tuned.